This is CRE Deep Dive, hosted by Dennis Bamford. We go behind the scenes of high-level commercial real estate, breaking down deal structures and advanced capital strategies, including self-directed IRAs that move investors from Wall Street into real assets, real deals, real execution, real control over your wealth. Let's get into it.
Welcome to CRE Deep Dive. We're with Brianna Mares from Gold Star Trust Company, and we're going to talk about the ins and outs of getting a self-directed IRA. Welcome, Brianna.
Hi, Dennis. Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be able to represent the company and just be here and go more into self-directed IRAs. I feel like a lot of people don't really have much knowledge on self-directed IRAs or the benefits of them. So I'm glad we can discuss this topic.
Yeah, it was just about 8 months ago that I learned about self-directed IRAs at all. And I was like, that this isn't something that's not mainstream. It blew me away.
Definitely.
And I want to try and help spread the word as much as possible. If you want, let's jump in. And I guess the first question is how do you go about getting a self-directed IRA and what do you need to do?
If you have a 401k plan, then you can easily roll over those funds into a self-directed IRA. Or if you have a regular standard IRA, then you can definitely transfer or roll that over into a self-directed IRA. All you need is a rollover certification request form from Gold Star. And then with that, we send a letter of acceptance to you to initiate that process with your other custodian. And that's just telling them, hey, Gold Star is accepting the funds that are in this 401k plan. And that's whenever the other custodian will just take their processing time and they send that over once they're ready.
So how long does that usually take, that process?
It's different with every custodian. Since we work on rollovers with many other custodians, we see different timelines. It can take some only a couple of business days, and some it can take them up to 2 weeks. It all depends on their processing time. So with Gold Star, once you open your account with us, you submit your account application, takes us 2 days to open that, and within that time is whenever we send that letter of acceptance initiating that process. And so from then it's up to the other custodian.
Okay. All right. So for our military people out there that have the thrift saving plan or the TSP, is the process pretty much the same for them also?
So with TSP plans, we don't really touch those often. We don't handle those plans. So I'm sorry, I should have mentioned this before, but we don't really cover TSP plans or their processing.
Okay. No, that's good to know. That's good to know. For an in-service, somebody that's still at their job with a W-2, are they able to take any of that money out of their 401k and roll it over into a self-directed IRA as a loan? Let's say they take a loan out from their 401k. Would they be able to roll that into a self-directed IRA to maybe get access to?
Yeah, so there are certain eligibilities for that. That's something that you want to consult with your service provider as well as the tax professional. They are only allowed up to $7,500 because it's cash. But if you're over 50 years old, then that catch up is going to be $1,100.
1,100. Okay. Catch up, we're looking at $8,600
Yes,
total for the year.
yes.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Do you guys do solo 401ks or LLC checkbooks or IRA LLC checkbook accounts?
So right now we do not cover checkbook LLCs because it is something that we can't totally manage. Compared to a real estate IRA, a checkbook LLC is where the client has control. And so whenever they go through that property manager, the property manager doesn't go directly to the custodian. They go directly to their checking account or so. But we don't overlook all the aspects. And so it's a little bit risky because there's prohibited transactions, and that's something that we're just not ready to quite dig into just yet.
Okay, awesome. Let's see. I'm going to share my screen and maybe we can look at the fee schedule.
Perfect.
Maybe. Okay. So establishing a self-directed IRA is $50.
Yes. So that's the one-time establishment fee that's assessed to the client's account once we get their account open, along with their annual maintenance fee. And that's just if they have a standard self-directed IRA with alternative investments. That would be privately offered investments, or real estate investments, not necessarily a real estate IRA, church bonds, LLCs, REITs, things like that. We do also offer precious metals for an investment. That's where a client would work with a broker dealer to buy or sell precious metals. Their maintenance fee is going to be only $90 because they also have their storage fee that's assessed from our depositories that we work with. With commingled storage, that's $125 regardless of the value in your account. That's where your metals are going to be stored with other light metals. And then with that annual segregated storage fee, that's where your metals are stored separately in its own containers. That minimum is $225 annually. But if the value of your account is over $125,000, then your storage fee is going to be based off of the value of your account. And so that is $1.80 per 1,000 of precious metals value.
Okay. All right. And
Yes.
each one of these, like for real estate, for it, is this establishment fee for each property that you own, or is this just a one-time fee and you could have as many homes in there? Because you got a purchase or the sell is 100. Would you have to do the $50 again for each purchase or sale?
No, that $50 is just for opening the account.
Okay.
So there's no additional fee for any investments that you have.
Okay.
With real estate IRAs, that is our only type of IRA that has a fee for buying or selling of your
Okay.
asset.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Oh, all right. So I guess I just answered the next question about the precious metals. So you can, every time you add to this, your precious metals, buy, sell, exchange, no fee. Okay. Oh, wow.
Mm.
All right.
Yes. The only fee that we may have if you're selling your metals is a shipping fee to ship your metals from the depository to the metals dealer who's buying the metals back from you. And typically, we see it a lot. Clients typically just have that shipping fee paid with the cash that they receive from that sale of metals.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. And then I think we covered that. Just typical fees, ACH or for checks, no fee recurring. That's nice. Yeah.
Yes. So clients
Overnight.
do have the option to have a recurring distribution set up on their account. So
Uh-huh.
they receive a distribution from their IRA every 3 months or semi-annually or annually. And so that's where the recurring no fee, recurring check fee is just $5. But if it's a one-time distribution, there is going to be a $50 fee to wire the funds if you decide to wire them.
Yeah.
If you decide to just do ACH or check, that is just $15. We do also have on all accounts the annual paper statement fee of $40. Client, that is always assessed in the month of June. Clients do have the option to exempt themselves from that $40 paper statement fee if they register their online account and enroll in the e-statement.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. All right. Let's take a look at your website. So one of the questions I have, what is the difference between your standard and your precious metals IRAs?
So with the standard IRA, that's going more into other alternative investments other than precious metals. Here at Gold Star, our most popular investment is precious metals. So we do have a separate application kit for this. With the standard IRA, that's going into privately offered investments, publicly traded securities, crowdfunding, real estate IRAs, REITs, church bonds, structured cash flows, things like that. Whereas the precious metals IRA, that's strictly in the precious metals.
Okay. Awesome. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like you guys have some, let's see, where was it? Oh, your education. I love that. You guys had some pretty good education on here for those that need to, or they have a question about different investment types, their investor awareness before and after your investments, and then what to look for when you're investing, about the people, the sponsors, and who you're dealing with. So I thought that was good. Yeah, that was real good.
Yes. Yeah, we try to provide as much knowledge as possible to future or current existing clients just because investing, it's a different world. You don't know what you're stepping into. There's so many rules and regulations. As far as forms as well, with the self-directed IRAs, you have to initiate the process by documentation. So even with new purchases of assets, you have to submit documentation and you have to work with an asset sponsor or with a metals broker dealer, things like that. So not a lot of people are aware of those things. And so we do try to provide as much information as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, this is good. Yeah. And why don't you, so your customer service, how does that handle? Do you have somebody that is specifically on an account, or is it just a group that handles that, or department?
So that is actually a department, our investor services department. So it's not, no account is assigned to a person. Whenever clients call into our investor services department, they can call in for online assistance, a walkthrough on a form. How is their processing of their transactions being handled? What's the status? Things like that, or simply just what to do. Now, we can't advise since we are a self-directed trust company, but if they tell us what they're wanting to do and they don't know how to accomplish it, then we can walk them through that step by step. That is our call number. We have different queues for new accounts, fees, online assistance, distributions, transfers, things like that. So whoever answers that phone, they're going to be able to complete the call from start to finish, providing the best assistance to the client. Now, since it is a department full of people, it's not often that we see the same account twice, but whenever we do, since it's different people working on that account, we have notes attached to the account. So every interaction on that account is notated. So everybody is up to date and caught up to speed. So that way nothing gets left out.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Yes. And a lot of people hate it whenever they call a call center and they have to explain their situation 10,000 times before it gets to the right person.
Yeah. Yeah, that is horrible. Yeah, and you're getting passed over to one person to the next and have to say the same thing. Yeah, no good.
Yes.
No good. All right, Brianna, I appreciate you taking the time and talking to us about Gold Star Trust Company. If anybody wants to sign up and roll some money over, Here's their phone number and Gold Star Trust Company. It'll be in the description link, Will. So, yeah, they sound like they're good people. Brianna, I appreciate you and taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you so much, Dennis, for having me. And yes, if you want to start your Gold Star Self-Directed IRA with us, give us a call and one of my team members will be happy to help you and walk you through the process. Thank you so much for having me, Dennis. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to CRE Deep Dive with Dennis Bamford. If this episode gave you value, share it with someone who's ready to move beyond traditional investing and into real assets. And if you're an investor, operator, or custodian actively working with self-directed IRAs in commercial real estate and have real experience to share, you can apply to be featured on the show using the links below. We'll see you in the next episode.